sponsored by boot.dev/Bellular. If you've seen the news, like the headlines and the thumbnails, you probably would think this is only a Mythic Plus thing. Now, this is amazing for Mythic Plus, and it answers things that those players have really wanted for ages, but all of us are going to have faster progression, more flexibility, and less punishment, which is quite a nice thing. And all because Blizzard are changing how crests work in general, and then in Mythic Plus especially. And this is not some sort of mid-season gift. That would be the worrying thing. No, Blizzard say that these changes are active in patch 1107, but they are going to be the starting point for Season 2. So let's get stuck in. The first change impacts everybody, and it's humongous. The cost of trade-up bags has been cut in half from 90 to 45. Now that's the system where if you no longer can use a type of crest, you can turn a whole bunch of that crest into a smaller number of crests from a tier above. And halving that cost has got an absolutely flippin' massive impact here. More than you'd first think. So say you want a whole bunch of runed crests. Well, in the old system, you would trade 540 weathered crests into 90 carved crests, and those 90 would turn into 15 runed crests. But in the new system, 135 weathered crests turns into 45 carved, and 45 carved turns into 15 runed. So to get the same 15 runed crests, you're looking at 135 weathered crests versus 540. And the implications are massive here. As an example, doing anything in the game, especially Siren Isle stuff, gets you so many weathered and carved crests, you'll be able to trade up so many more of those into better crests that can actually upgrade your character. So that really is good, and for so many of us, it means that doing world content on a character that's decently geared won't feel like a complete, total waste of time. But that's actually not all. As an example, I am not a Mythic Pluser, I'm a Raider, and for me, this is also a little bit of a game changer, because obviously, Gilded crests matter. Here's an extended version of that chart with Gilded crests, and you can really see the compounding is powerful here. Yeah, nobody's going to be turning weathered crests into Gildeds, but just look at this. 3,240 weathered crests could be traded into 15 Gilded with the old costs. Now, it's only 405. That is an over 90% cost reduction. Of course, obviously, to unlock the ability to trade, you do have to have your character's gear at a certain level. But it does actually mean that between Siren Isle, the Odd Delve, and Heroic Raid, I'll actually have plenty of weathered, carved, and runed crests, and that means I'll be able to trade up to Gilded crests so that my character, which is all 4 out of 6 hero gear, well, will actually be able to get Gilded gear, which is pretty crazy. With the old cost, progression was so slow that it was completely not worth doing, but that is just not the case here. You can make way more tangible progress on your character, even more so because of the changes made to crafted gear. So the best crafted gear in the game is, of course, made with a spark plus either a nascent, weathered, runed, or Gilded Harbinger crest. Weathered and runed nascent crests still cost 30 and 45, but the big news is that nascent Gilded crests now only cost 60, down from 90. And that's on top of the Gilded crests being drastically more plentiful in patch 1107 because of these trading changes. Earning 45 of them will be so much easier, and that's even if you don't touch Mythic Plus. But if you do touch Mythic Plus, wow, everything is massively different, and funnily enough, on numbers going up, well, here's today's sponsor, another RPG. They're an absolute favorite of mine and big supporter of the channel, boot.dev. So here's the deal with them, right? They'll teach you back-end development using the core technologies of Python and Go, but more importantly, they're a cut above the rest because they're designed by people like you and me for people like you and me. That's because the founders are actually big gamers as well. And what's cool is it's a community RPG. Just look at this. This is their real-time leaderboard. It is so cool just seeing people do their lessons. They have a super active Discord, and on the platform, they've got quests, XP, community boss battles, all of that supporting an extremely thorough, detailed, and career-focused learning pathway that, yes, will take you from the basics like Python, learning the likes of Lua, right through to full back-end development. And you've got fun side quests along the way, like remaking asteroids in Pygame, and vital adjacent skills like mastering Git. So, back-end development is also an awesome, well-paid career. You have an average of like 100k compensation, great contracts, flexible working, and these are, of course, proper foundational programming skills. Boot just do it better than anybody else, and you can check them out today at boot.dev/Bellular. There, you'll get 25% off your first purchase. I go annual for the biggest saving, and if it's not for you, they have a 30-day, no questions asked refund period, and you can browse their materials and check out their site, all that stuff for free. Mythic changes are, in a word, fantastic. Mythic dungeon gearing is slow and it's punishing, to the point where this late in the season, people just could not be bothered doing their alts. until this patch drops, that is. Blizzard are greatly increasing the Crest rewards from all forms of dungeon content, including whenever you deplete a key, and especially with Gilded Crests. Here's a full table of the new costs, and quite a few things will stand out. First up, depleted keys are actually rewarding now. You'll be getting between 8 and 16 crests based on your keystone level, versus the old one, which is just a flat 5 crests, which just felt like a massive kick when you were down. It's humongous. If you want to change people's behavior, you need to change the incentives. And when winning earned 12, but losing only earned 5, people could rationalize just quitting the dungeon and trying to find another key. Here, though, well, yeah, if you deplete your key, that kind of blows, but you only get 4 fewer crests than if you timed the key. And that completely reframes the reward psychology here. It means that depleting is not a total victory, but it gets you meaningful progress and is rewarding, rather than feeling like a complete waste of time, as it did previously. The next takeaway, then, is how the rewards change with level. So within each crest range, we can see that the rewards for timing and depleting increase. As an example, timing a +8 gets you 12, depleting a +9 gets you 10. That's barely any of a difference, but timing that +9 earns you 14. And that means that you are incentivized to do harder and harder content, but should you end up failing, you're not being punished ridiculously. And that's much better than the old system where you just targeted the easiest keystone level for a given type of crest and you would farm it up. This is so much better, and it's especially better with Gilded Crests. That's because timing a +12 will get you 20 crests. That's way more than the 12 that you get right now, and depleting, of course, will earn you 16. Yeah, you deplete a key and you get 16 crests, which is more crests than you get for timing the key right now. That is just wild and so much better. I mean, depleting a key, that's over 3 times as many crests on a +12 as previous. So this is a game changer. Now, we do know that the Gold and Valor Stone rewards are also going to be increasing with level, but Blizzard have sadly not shared any numbers there. It'd be really nice if they did. But that's actually not all for this. Blizzard have also decreased the item level requirement for a pretty damn big achievement called Harbinger of the Gilded. That is the feat of strength for getting everything to 639, just that when the patch drops, it'll be 636. That looks small, but it's actually quite huge. Crafted gear caps out at item level 636, and that meant with the old achievement, people would have crafted gear that would be base, embellishments and all of that, but they'd then need to find myth track gear and upgrade it just to tick off this achievement so that they could earn their warband-wide discount on Gilded Crest upgrades. It was very, very, very silly indeed. So now you don't have to jump through stupid hoops just to get that achievement, and the account-wide discount is going to play very, very nice with the increased acquisition rates, especially for Mythic Plus. But do you know what really matters? The future of the game and why Blizzard made this move. For me, the biggest takeaway is the team confirmed that these changes will be their starting point for Season 2 of The War Within, and that truly is gigantic. What I think a lot of us expected was some sort of mid-season sugar rush, right? Just give people a whole bunch of reward, jack up the numbers. No, that's not happening, and it's evident that they're actually thinking this through, and they've explained it on 2 different levels. Level 1 is the overarching system, level 2 is the alignment of incentives within any given dungeon group. So previously, if you wanted crests, you were incentivized to do the lowest key that dropped those crests, because those would be easier and you could clear them faster. Now, that's bad in itself, but it actually created a second order effect that was really dangerous. People who could do a +12 would rather just chain run +8s really quickly. They would get way more Gilded Crests, and with the crafted gear costing 90 of the damn things, well, they kind of needed those time savings. And that was systemically disastrous for how Mythic Plus worked, because the people who were progressing, for whom a +8 was properly hard and actually is progress, they're not going to get accepted because, well, the people with those keys have got a whole stream of very geared players who just want to farm Gilded Crests and really should be doing harder content. And that basically meant a subgroup of players were just stuck hitting a wall, which blew. The other thing then is incentives within a group. I mean, depleting a key hurt the owner of the key the most, and the consolation prize of 5 crests was so little that it wasn't really worth anything to anybody else, so many people would just quit at the first sign of trouble. The incentives were misaligned, but now with, in cases, 2 to 3 times better rewards for depleting a key, well, it's actually worth seeing the run through for everybody. That's massive. And big picture here, Blizzard say that they want to basically help people move to harder content and also get their alts up to speed faster. Now, this is not a panacea. It doesn't fix absolutely everything, but it is a foundational change. Now, there are so many criticisms of dungeon design, mechanical density, class utility, and all of those things. Those are details that really do matter. But here's the thing. Often you can talk about tweaking the variables, the details, but there can be foundational things that are just, in a way, a lot more important, where you should really fix the foundations first, and then you should tweak the other things. So with this done, I think whenever Blizzard do go and they act on all of that feedback for our next wave of Mythic Plus dungeons in Season 2, well, it'll be on a far better foundation, and that they're willing to basically implement this in 1107 so that they actually get a bit of a test run with it. Well, that also bodes well, because it says they're actually trying to run experiments and learn. Certainly, the old Blizzard wouldn't really do this kind of thing. I'm glad the new Blizzard does, and it sets 11.1's season up to be substantially better for all players, and at least for me, right? I mean, I'm definitely more interested in doing Mythic Plus in this sort of situation, and for the whole rest of my characters, with how they've done things with the trading, it's actually way better. That makes more parts of the game more rewarding, which will feel pretty good. So basically, we need to monitor it, good times, and if these changes are making you want to jump into WoW, hit up this video next. It is packed with easy to use, no add-ons required tweaks that'll just make your game way more comfortable.